Bienvenidos a todos, welcome everybody. I am the Seamster. What are we doing today? Today, guys, I'm going to show you all about slushie machines and why they're important. I'm going to show you, number one, how to clean one. Well, you can actually set your whole bowl into, and you can see I'm using this plastic bin right here, and I filled it up just, I don't know, about a third of the way, and I went ahead and used Dawn dish soap, and this is hot water here. Okay, so there it is right there, and then the excess right there, I'm just going to put along that backside right there. Okay, you just want that to be nice and lubricated up. Lubricant on the outside of this, it doesn't need that. Okay, so in this part right here, we'll just slide right there all the way in and watch, it'll suck it in. See how it just sucked that in there because that magnet just magnetized it right to that. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to turn on the slushie machine and freeze it, okay? That you don't want to do that with just regular water. You got to have that syrup that's inside because it's made for that. Okay, it's made to freeze. Find out how old the slush machine is. Has it ever had brand new Freon put inside of it? These slush machines, when you turn them on, they should start freezing after about 3 minutes. Okay, because a lot of people don't understand, you know, how easy they actually are to clean. So what you have obviously is the lid. Normally that's got a light in it. And then you have the bowl. That's this part right here. And then you got the, you know, the lever for the slushy to actually come out. Okay, and that's pretty pretty simple. Now this machine right here is an older unit, Ugolini. Okay, and it's top of the line brand. It's a triple, so it's very heavy. And so as you can see, this barrel here and this barrel, these are called barrels right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and disassemble this one so you get an understanding of what I'm talking about. So when you're going to clean one of these, or you happen to go see one and you're interested in a slush machine, it's very important that you know what you're looking for. So first things first, let's take this thing apart. Okay, so you got your lid. So the lid simply just comes off like that. You just set that aside. And then this right here, the bowl, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to lift up, because there's a little locking feet right here. You're going to lift up and pull that towards you, like so. Okay, and we're going to set that aside. And then this right here is the auger, and that will just simply slide out. Sometimes not as easy, and that's what that is right here. The auger, it's got a little hole right there where this auger that's inside of the barrel, okay, and that's typically magnetic. So you just give it a little tug, a little twist and a tug, and this is just one huge magnet right there, and this little auger is inside of that barrel. Okay, so set that aside also. And what are you left with? Now you have your seal. Okay, so this rubber seal on the back side, you're just going to go ahead and pull that off, because that can be really dirty, and you want to clean that with some nice hot water. Okay, so as you can see, and these seals, they can go bad, so you just want to look for cracks. But if you keep that pretty well lubricated with an edible lubricant, okay, then that'll keep its life for a long time. So I've had this unit for quite a while, and these seals have not gone bad. So, but like I say, you don't want them to get all dried out. Okay, so just go ahead and set that aside also. So what are you left with? Okay, so you're left with the actual unit, and you're left with the barrels, and now you can go ahead and start cleaning them. So what I end up doing is I just get some hot soapy dish water, okay, and a nice rag, and I will go ahead and set these inside these rubber seals because they're small enough. I just set those right inside of that hot water so they can start cleaning off that lubricant, because it's not going to come off with cold water. Okay, guys, so you want to have hot water so that these kind of just melt that lubricant off of that, and then that dish water, you know, that dish soap is going to help also. Okay, so now you can actually just go ahead and start cleaning this unit down, and just start from the back, you know what I mean, and just get right up inside all of these crevices there, because this thing is pretty dirty because it's been sitting inside this pole barn here for going on about 1.5 years. Well, about a year. I sold a food truck, as you guys know, and so the person that actually bought the food truck didn't want any of the appliances. I know, it's weird, but they bought it for full price, so I simply just took all the appliances out. So now I'm left with the appliances, so now I'm just going to clean everything up, because I'm starting to sell everything individually. And no, by the time you watch this, none of this stuff is going to be available, so no, I don't have anything for sale for you here on YouTube. Okay, so you just want to go ahead and just clean around where that lubricant was in the back. And remember, again, hot soapy water. All right, so as you can see, got these pretty well cleaned up, and this is the most important part. You want to, you know, really clean up down in here, because that's where a lot of the, you know, the after dryness of the syrup is going to end up. So you want to make sure that that's pretty well cleaned up. And this plastic will stain, so as you can see back here, that's just stained, and I tried my hardest to get that off, but it just will not. You don't really want to use an SOS pad on that neither, because you don't want to be scratching that up, because that'll just make it even stain even worse. Okay, so yeah, just reach your hand right up in there. But yeah, overall it's ready. Just get a quick rinse now and wipe down with a dry towel. All right, so once you have your bucket of rinse water, clean rinse water, just go ahead and take that same rag, and all you're gonna do is just get just a little bit of water, and you're just gonna go over the back side, just kind of like giving it just a little bit of a shower, I guess, in the back. Okay, because you don't want too much water to be running on the back side of your slushie machine, especially if you got vents that are back there because they're electrical components. So that's all you really want to do, is just kind of just let that rinse water just go over the top of the barrels also. And then as far as the inside, just go ahead and just rinse that rag out really well, and just reach right up in there. Okay, put that one there, and then rinse it out. Same thing here, and same thing here. Okay. Okay, so these barrels are what's going to be inside of your bowl, and then this bottom part right here, this right here is just, it's just a catch-all. Okay, so if there is a leak, it's going to end up there. You can see the water kind of runs down this little ramp, okay, and then it drips down into the drip pans that also have to be cleaned. So all I'm going to do now is just take the same rag and just try to get most of the water out of there, because then I'm going to take my towel and do the same thing. Okay. Just like that. I'm just going to go ahead and do that just a couple more times here on this bottom part, because that's where most of the dust and everything settled in between the bowls, and it just kind of rested here. So I'm just going to clean that out really well, and then dry this off with a clean dry towel that doesn't have a lot of nap to it, because you don't want a lot of lint left over. So okay, make sure you're using a towel or even paper towel. All right, so now the fun part. So here is that petroleum gel, the sanitary lubricant, okay? It's not like edible where you can actually just eat it. All right, so there it is right there. So if you're wanting to know what type of lubricant you use on moving parts as far as food is concerned, this is it right there, okay? That's what you want to get. And so now what I'm going to do is, you can see I have all my rubber seals that are right here, and you want to make sure that you put enough lubricant down in these ridges here. All right, so that's where a lot of the lubricant is going to go, and that flat part right there, that's the part that goes against the flat part back here. And then you can see those ridges right there, that's what actually where the bowl will slide into that, and you want to make sure there's enough lubricant on that where the bowl will slide in there, and then nothing will leak. Okay, so just going to go ahead and put some of this lubricant here on the inside, and then once it's on there, okay, you're just going to go use your fingers and just kind of just rub that in. Okay, so let me just get a little bit on there so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, all right, so we got enough on there, and all I'm going to do is just take that and just kind of just rub that in all the way around that seal. Okay, you don't want too much on there where it's getting into your slushie machine and your slushie mix. I mean, like I said, it's not going to hopefully not kill anybody, but I'm just saying it is a. Okay, so there it is right there, and then the excess right there I'm just going to put along that back side right there. Okay, you just want that to be nice and lubricated up. All right, now I'm going to take that and try not to touch my barrel. I'm going to slide that all the way back. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom and then work my way right up to the top. Okay, okay, just like that. And then when I clean my bowls out, all right, when I clean these bowls out, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put the same lubricant on this edge right here. You can see there's still some on there, right there. You can still see it. And that's where I'm going to put the same thing, and then this bowl will just slide right over the top of that rear rubber gasket. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start cleaning out these bowls. Okay, so went outside because it's 80 degrees outside and the sun is out. So what you're gonna have to have is you're gonna have a large enough container where you can actually set your whole bowl into. And you can see I'm using this plastic bin right here, and I filled it up just, I don't know, about a third of the way. And I went ahead and used Dawn dish soap, and this is hot water here. Okay, so all I do is I just take all of these parts and just set them down in there, okay, and let them just soak just for a little bit. You don't want to over cram it, so just put in there. That was a lucky catch, right? Just put in there just enough so it's not too overwhelming inside of the container. And then once those parts are in there, then go ahead and start cleaning it. Most of you are going to have maybe a deep dish type sink where you can put these items into the sink, and that's the best way to do it. But I'm just giving you guys an example of what you can do, especially if you're out in the field doing an event somewhere and you need that to clean really quick. You just do that right inside of your food truck or your food trailer by using this little plastic bin. And a lot of these machines, once they're cleaned once really well, then you can clean in place. That's CIP, the acronym for that. So just go ahead and get yourself the bin, the hot water with the dish soap, and just go ahead and start cleaning up all these parts. So I'm going to show you guys that here in a minute. Oh, even better to dry this off. Okay, so now I'm at the bowls. So what I did is I changed out my water because some of the water just obviously going to be dirty, and it's going to have that lubricant that's inside of the water. So just get rid of it, start over again. And I filled it up about halfway this time with the Dawn detergent soap, okay, dish soap. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take the bowl and just set it in there completely and turn it on its side. And as you can see, it's totally submerged under that warm hot water, okay? And you just want that just to soak just for about a minute, and then once you've done that, you can go ahead and turn it up, and you can see I can now go ahead and start wiping out the inside. All right, so I'm at the part where the lever is, okay? So when I get to that part, if you can tell that it's pretty well cleaned out, I would not disassemble that, all right? I would try to clean that while it's in place, okay, that CIP. So just that mechanism right there, all right, it just, you don't want to break that, okay? And all it is just a pull pin, you pull that out and this spring comes out. But I'm not even going to mess with it because it is pretty clean in there. So what I end up doing is I just put some soapy water inside, okay, grab onto it really good, and I just kind of make that lever run that soap water through that dispenser hole, okay? Just like that. And then I will take the rag and I will clean it inside and around as good as I can, okay? Because it's pretty clean. And if you don't have to take that apart, remember, don't do it, okay? You don't want to break these things, okay? They cost about $179 to $200 for a new bowl. All right, so everything is clean, and now we got to put everything back together. The one thing to remember is that any movable part is going to need the lubricant, okay? So remember that. So when it comes to the inner auger, this magnet here, okay, so inside right there, that's the moving part, okay? But what I'll do is I'll just take some and I'll just wipe that right around there, but you definitely need it right there inside of there, because that's where most of the focal point is going to be when it goes deep down inside there, okay? So here we go. So just take that, and you just want to just, okay, and then here I'll do the same thing. I'll just go right around there like so, okay? But you definitely want it inside right there where it's going to fit, that hole right there. It's going to fit inside the barrel, okay? I'm not going to be putting any lubricant on the outside of this. It doesn't need that, okay? So in this part right here, we'll just slide right there all the way in, and watch, it'll suck it in. See how it just sucked that in there, because that magnet just magnetized it right to that. All right, so now I know that there's going to be this part right here, which is going to go into the plastic auger. So you want to make sure that that also has quite a bit of lubricant right there. Okay, if not, then it's going to start squeaking, and then actually these will just end up burning up. Okay, believe it or not. Okay, so now take the auger, and it's going to set straight in over the top. Don't need any lubricant on there, you only need it here. And you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put some right in there. Okay, again, moving part. Okay, right up inside there, right there. Right, and then this will fit right over the top there, and it kind of locks in. You'll see where it'll fit right into that part there. Okay, so that's locked in. Okay, so far so good. So now what we have is our bowl. Okay, and then on the inside here, deep inside there, way in there, okay, where that lever is, you're going to need lubricant that's going to go on there, because that's where this part is. It kind of just spins on that. Okay, and that's kind of, it's like a little, it's plastic, hard plastic. It's not rubber. Okay, inside, hold that so you can see what I mean. That right there, what I'm pointing at, that's just a hard plastic. So you want some lubricant that's going to be on the surface of that right there, but not too much, like I say, because this is where the actual slush, you know, is going to be at. So what I'll do is I'll just put some right on the tip of my finger there, and that part is good to go. All right, so now this is where the seal is, that rubber seal that's way in the back there. And what I'll do is I'll just put some right there, and I'm just going to go around the outer edge, and then it'll slide over the top of that rubber gasket. You can do it either or. You can put some on that gasket if you'd like, but I just like to put it right around that whole edge right there. It covers about 1/2 of an inch of that. Okay. All right, so here, same thing. Just going right around there. Remember, you don't want to glob it on there where it's actually coming out into the slush mix. That's what you don't want, of course. And what that does is that prevents any water or liquid or slushy penetrating through the rubber gasket. Okay, so as you can see right there, you can barely see that on there all the way around. Okay, so now we can go ahead and place this onto that. Okay, so carefully. Slide it all the way back. Fit right over the top of that there. Then your locking feet will lock in there, just like that. And got your tray, your little slush tray that you cleaned out, and that goes right there. You don't have a big enough table, but that's where that would go, kind of like right there. And then we have our lid, which goes on top there, like so. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rest of these together. So when it comes to slushie machines, there are a few important things that you want to keep in mind. Is one, don't be too worried about the scratches that are on the bowls here, because if you're buying a used slushie machine, that's just what's going to happen because of just washing and cleaning them. And it's plastic, come on, it's clear plastic, and that's just what happens. Another thing is the augers. Remember, these little plastic augers are really thin, so they will break. So you want to make sure that you're not, just roughhousing those things when you're cleaning them. Just get them in that hot soapy water and just take that rag and clean them up really delicately, okay? Because they will break on you. Another important thing is lubricant. Make sure on all moving parts that you have enough lubricant, and that's this stuff right here, okay? So take a look, take a screenshot of that. You're gonna need that if you have any type of slushie machine or anything else that has to do with submerged or water or anything else. So it's a good product, been using that for many, many years, but you wanna make sure that all your moving parts have that lubricant that is going to be on it. So if you're going to buy a used slushie machine, a couple of things you wanna look for is that around this part, this rounded part, you wanna make sure that there's no hairline cracks. right here where this rounded part meets the actual bowl, because that's where that can be. So you want to be able to fill that up just over this, and then with water, okay, just regular clean water. And you'll know, because water is going to find its way. That's just what water does. It will leak. It will find a way. So just let it set for about 10-15 minutes. Look, you probably took a long drive to go get the slushie machine. So 10-15 minutes of putting water in it is not going to be a deal, big deal. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to turn on the slushie machine and freeze it, okay? That you don't want to do that with just regular water. You got to have that syrup that's inside, because it's made for that, okay? It's made to freeze. Water, that's going to damage the machine, so don't do it, okay? Turn the slushie machine on without the water in it. The barrels will freeze, okay? And I'm going to show you guys that here in just in a little bit. So again, no cracks, and the seals. You want to make sure that these seals, okay, are not leaking. You'll be able to tell, because if there's going to be a leak on a slushie machine, it's going to happen right here, and it's going to be just a constant drip. And there's a reason for that, because the people didn't keep it clean, or they're not putting enough lubricant inside of here. They're lubricating all the moving parts except for the one important part here, which is going to get a lot of tugging on, and that's this lever. So you want to make sure you put some lubricant right up inside of there and on the top right there. So when it comes to lights, obviously that's just part of the slushie machine. You want to make sure the lights are working. If not, come on, change the bulbs or find out what's wrong with it, or get a better price on it. But if you're buying a new slush machine, then you're not going to have that problem, or you still may. Find out how old the slush machine is. Has it ever had brand new Freon put inside of it? These slush machines, when you turn them on, they should start freezing after about 3 minutes, okay? So you'll turn it on after waiting about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you'll hear the actual fan kick on, and that's the Freon running through the barrels, and that's what's going to freeze it, all right? So that'll be with this little video that's coming up with this here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So now let me go ahead and get the mixes, and let me mix one of these up so I can show you guys how the slushie machine actually operates when it comes to freezing the syrup mix inside.